I'm going to attempt to create the 2023 voting nomination ballot, for council and diaconate. This is the front page, the dashboard of SurveyMonkey when you log into it. And what we're going to do is create a survey from this top menu up here. Closer to the right hand side, it says Create Survey. I'm going to click on that. And it gives you the option, as you can see on the left hand side, to copy a past survey. Unfortunately, you can't see the entirety of the titles on these. I believe I'm going to be copying the survey on the I'm going to view as many of these as I can. Because you want there to be two questions. There's one question about council nominations, and then the other is about diaconate nominations. So you can see in the first three on here, there's 0 or one question, and that could have been just, people playing around with it. But I think because the far left one says 2 questions but 0 responses, I might actually go to 2 questions and 18 responses. It would be very unusual to get 0 responses. So hopefully this is the 2022 or at least 2022. Yay. So this was the diaconate and council nominations for 2022. We're going to copy this survey. And just so you know, ideally you want to copy the one from the previous year. It would really do no good to go back to, say, the 2013 or 2014 version, because the names would be all wrong. And then you'd have to go through and do a real scrubbing. If you're using the previous year, you know that there's less change of names that need to happen. Some people will be rolling on or off the council or diaconate, or maybe new people have joined the church, or some may have left. But you'll have fewer names that you'll have to change. So we're going to say copy this survey at the bottom right hand corner. And then it brings us here. So this is where we edit everything. And to edit it, you simply tap on the part that you want to start editing. So this dark blue line where it says copy of diaconate and council nominations, I'm going to click on that, say edit. And then I can just use my keyboard to start making the changes. So I'm going to delete copy of and change this to 2023. Nothing else needs to change on that. And then I'm going to say save. This is the first page of it, which is the bylaws. This is not something that needs to change very often. It kind of goes over what the deacons do, what the church council does, etc. So that's good to go. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom and hit next. Hopefully. What it should do is take us to the next question, which is nominating one of the two. I'm going to close this little box that keeps coming up here. Maybe that's hindering us. If you did want to edit this part, you would just click on it and hit the edit button, but that's not necessary. Let me click next up here and see what it does. I think that's going to take us to preview and score, and that's not really what we want to do. We want to get to where we're seeing the next question. But that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, I'm just not scrolling down. I'm sorry. It's been a while, y'all. Okay, so continue scrolling down. And you will see diaconate and council nominations. So now we're talking about the voting process. And this, usually the process itself does not change. This 2 lines in bold here, that is what will change, depending on how many open positions there are on the diaconate and council. And typically we ask for 2 or 3 more nominations than there are openings. So you can see last year we asked people to nominate up to 8 members for the 6 diaconate openings and 4 members for the 2 council openings. That lets people know how many check marks they can put on the deacon line and the council line. The deacon line is first, the council line is second. So it should be easy. So what I'm going to do now, I don't have those numbers yet, so I'll come back to updating those, but I want to make sure we have the right people in here. So last year, Josh was eligible only for the diaconate. This year, he's eligible for both. So I'm going to click on his name and say edit. And it actually lets me edit all the people at once. So I just click on that name and delete eligible for diaconate only. If there's nothing after their name, then that is to be interpreted as you can vote for them either for council or the diaconate. There's no restrictions. But I have my list of updates here. So, for example, I am now eligible, so I'm going to add myself in. And there are some people who've been deleted because they're not eligible or they left the church or something like that. So that's why they're grayed out. Unless you hear otherwise, leave them grayed out because they might still be serving their term somewhere. So, but for example, I am eligible and I want to keep people in alphabetical order. So I'm going to put myself after Ben Ball and before Matt Bennett. And using one of these little plus signs, I can enter a new label. And I'm just going to type in the name. Done. Matt gets updated too because he is now eligible for both. So I'm going to take off that restriction on him. We also need to add in Michelle Bennick. So I believe I'm going to try another plus because she's going to actually she was serving another position last time. So now I'm going to say eligible for council only. So that lets people know as they're voting, don't check off Michelle's name for the diaconate because she is only eligible to serve on council, having just rolled off the diaconate. Okay, and I'm going to go down my list here and add people in and make the changes as necessary. So we have Adam Burke is not eligible for anything because he's currently serving. So when I see his name, I'm going to put a minus next to it and he gets deleted. I don't understand why some people are deleted and some people are grayed out. To be honest, I'm going to just delete them because it's just confusing. Many of these people are no longer in the church, so it makes more sense to do it that way. And maybe that's a SurveyMonkey change as well. Let's see. Those changes. Who else? Beth Braun is now eligible to be a deacon, so I'm going to add her in under Charlotte. Okay, this will be a little boring, sorry, but I'll get through it. Ann Christensen needs to be deleted. She's currently serving. And like I said, it's easy to put these people in when they're eligible again, so don't worry about it. I think what I might just do is go ahead and go through and delete everyone who needs to come off. Jeannie is currently serving. Bill and Karen are both currently serving. And Lisa and Susan. Susan's already been taken. Oh, wait, has she? No, she's down here. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Those are the people who are not eligible for either because they're currently serving a position. Okay, now I will go in and add the other names. Jane Cravens needs to go back in. She is now eligible for both, so I can just take that part off. As is Amy Cuellar. Before I get too far, there are some brand new names, and those are also, much like I've added in people we already know, it's easy to do. So I'm going to get to those as soon as I update the current people, and then I'll add in the new people. These are people who have joined in 2022 and will be eligible to serve on either council or diaconate in 2023. And it's always good to check to make sure, that there aren't people listed here who may have passed away or something like that happens. And of course, we want to avoid anything like that might make people feel bad. Bill Howes. And I do list these for last name, comma, first name, because I'm traditional like that. It just makes it easier for me. But if people want to change it in the future, that's fine. We need to add Pam Jones back in. Oops. Double check what you're typing. It's just human error, right? Things happen, so you want to make sure everyone's name is spelled as correctly as you can get it, hopefully exactly. Ugh. And there's a lot of spell check. You just got to be persistent. Oops, how much candy? And then I'm going to add in Mike. I can't spell today. Sorry. Longoria. Brooke Longoria needs to come back in. And to add someone, you basically click the plus sign on the person's name who the new person will come right after, alphabetically. Okay. Excellent. John Preston. Okay, Sally Ridgway is now eligible for both. And Dale Thomas. Is and the reason someone would be eligible for only the council or diaconate is because they just rolled off of one of those. So Dale's only eligible for council because she's just rolled off diaconate, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've added the current people who and updated what they're eligible for. We've deleted people who are currently serving. I now have a list of 5 new members, and I'm going to put them in, and I'm down here in the T's, so I'm going to start in reverse alphabetical order. Jeff Turner is going to come just before Liz. And so when you have new people added to this, it's important to make sure they are also added to the MailChimp account for email notifications, etc., to make sure that they get any information on, they get the chance to vote and, all that stuff. And they probably are, but it's best just to double check that they are in that system. RYDER is the next one. Okay. I see that Ken Parker's name is on here, and I think there was a question about whether he should be on here and had he joined. He was on this last year, and I thought he had joined, but if he's not, then we need to go in and take him out. I'm going to leave him in for now. If someone else discovers he should come out, you can just come in and put that little minus sign and take care of that. There's a Johnson before Richard, okay. Okay, so those are 5 new people who have been added in, who have joined. I would still review this, have someone else review it, make sure people aren't missing, we haven't accidentally kept someone on who's already serving something else, etc. So that's just my suggestion. So scroll all the way down. And I want to get to the part where I say save, because that's extremely important. Save. Okay. So now, boom, it's going to just scroll back up to the top for you. It has everything, all those names we've added are saved in there. And keep scrolling down. So that's, the whole form is here. You just have to scroll to get to it. The last page, I believe it's the last page, is allow someone to put in any questions or suggestions about the process, use the space below, etc. And so that's it. What I'm going to do, and then you would hit done, okay, done, and go back up to the very top. It looks like done didn't do a whole lot. Go back up to the very top. And this is when you can hit next. And you can see a preview of what you have created. So the next here is what shows up when people are filling out the form. I'm going to go back to design survey because I just saw something. This very top point still says 2021. Apparently that was not updated, even though I've said 2023 here. I'm not sure why it's not editing it. I'm just going to go down here. This little box underneath still said 2021. I'm going to save that so that it matches the title of our form. Okay, so now I'm going to hit next, and you'll see a preview. And this is what people will see when they open their email and they click on this. They'll see, here's the responsibilities, next. Here's my voting process, and we still need to update the open slots. Next. Oh, I haven't made a selection, so it's mad at me. But the next one would be, show me, if you have any questions, fill out that. So then you would go to collecting responses. But here you should be able to send a test survey. Let me go to collect responses and see what it says. This just decides how you're going to send it out. And usually we do it by email. And I don't know, we've put, I think, the link also on our website before. I'm trying to remember how we've done it in the past. but you just click on the one you want to do. So you can share a survey link. Do not post it on social media. We don't want the whole wide world voting, just our community. So really it's just, you want to create this link. I'm going to click on share a survey link. And hopefully it will let me do that. Come on. There we go. I wasn't pressing hard enough. Okay, that's frustrating. Let me go back. I don't know why it's having a hard time doing that. I'm not going to really worry about it right now. We've saved our survey. We've updated it for the most part. So what I would recommend, obviously, is we have to update the information on how many openings there are and how many names we want people to check. Once that text is updated, which you just do by clicking here and saying edit, right? So you would just go in and edit this text box if you needed to do, when you need to do that. And then I'm going to click save again, because I don't want to lose anything. Next, we'll go to our preview, and this is another way, just make sure everything's spelled correctly, everything's done correctly. And I'm going to try again to make that link collecting responses. I don't know why it's having a hard time with that. We don't pay for this. We can if we want to. If people decide that's a good thing, but currently we don't. So I'm just going to close that. It's not liking me right now. You shouldn't need to pay for anything to collect responses. If SurveyMonkey has changed and we do have to sign up for some sort of payment method to be able to use it, I would suggest the cheapest option, because that's the best. I don't think we use this, a couple times a year. We used it more during COVID because we weren't meeting in person and like raising our hands to vote on something. So I am going to leave this here. I don't want this video to be any longer than it already is. This gives you the basic information about logging in, copying a survey, and updating it. And so all we have to do is still update the number of open slots and figure out how to get a link created. And it's possible that I'm just using a browser that it doesn't like or something like that. So I'll try and do that separately. When that link is created, you can send it out to people, whoever's on your review team, to look at, to make sure all the names are correct, etc. But don't send it out too widely. It's a live link. You can vote with it. So you want to make sure if people are just editing, don't put in some like, oh, I'm just going to put in the top 8 names to test this, because that counts as a vote. So, okay, that's all for now. Thank you very much.